Yes, my friends, things have reached another level, and Broncos country needs to pay close attention because what has been happening throughout this offseason is honestly unbelievable. Everywhere you look, there seems to be another prediction doubting the Denver Broncos, another ranking pushing this team down the list, and another analyst acting like last season didn't happen. I don't know about you, but I want to see the Broncos back in the Super Bowl, and I truly believe this team has everything it takes to get there. The question is, are all these people underestimating Denver, or do they actually have a point? I want to know where you stand. Do you think the Broncos are being completely disrespected this offseason, or do you believe they still have something to prove? Leave your opinion in the comments because I really want to hear what Broncos country thinks. And if you've been supporting the Denver Broncos for more than 15 years, smash that like button with all you've got. Go Broncos! Let's go to the Super Bowl. Now, let's talk about everything that's been said about this team and why so many people seem determined to count the Broncos out before the season even begins. One thing has become very clear throughout the offseason. The Denver Broncos continue to receive very little respect despite everything they accomplished last season. Instead of people recognizing the progress this team has made under Sean Payton, many national analysts seem determined to focus on reasons why Denver will supposedly take a step backward. One of the biggest examples comes from the projected win totals. The expectation from many predictions is that Denver will finish around 9.5 wins, with plenty of people encouraging others to believe the Broncos won't even reach that mark. That prediction becomes difficult to understand when you consider the direction this team has been moving. Sean Payton inherited a difficult situation, yet managed to guide the Broncos through major challenges before continuing to build a team that showed significant improvement. Instead of acknowledging that growth, many projections assume the Broncos are suddenly going to lose several more games despite the foundation already being established. Yes, the schedule will be challenging. Nobody denies that. But the reality is that every team competing in the AFC faces difficult opponents. A hard schedule isn't unique to Denver, so using that as the primary reason for predicting major regression doesn't tell the complete story. The Broncos have already shown they can compete against quality opponents, and many fans believe this roster is actually stronger than it was before. Another point that generated plenty of discussion involved ESPN's rankings of the NFL's best young teams. According to that system, Denver finished near the bottom, creating the impression that the Broncos are somehow an old football team without a bright future. That conclusion ignores an important detail. Sean Payton has consistently preferred drafting mature players who are ready to contribute immediately. Several Broncos entered the league as older rookies. That doesn't suddenly make the roster old. It simply means the organization values experience, maturity, and players capable of helping right away instead of waiting years for development. When you actually examine the roster, there are young players everywhere. Bo Nix remains on his rookie contract. The running back room includes young talent still developing. Receivers like Troy Franklin, Pat Bryant, and Marvin Mims are all continuing their careers on rookie deals. The secondary features Riley Moss, Jaquan McMillian, Jody Barron, and Chris Abrams-Draine, giving Denver another collection of developing talent. Calling this roster old simply because several players entered the NFL at a slightly older age completely misses the bigger picture. The Broncos remain a young football team with plenty of players whose best football may still be ahead of them. Perhaps no player has received more criticism than Bo Nix. Throughout the offseason, several media personalities questioned whether he truly runs Sean Payton's offense the way it was designed. One argument suggested that Nix rarely pushes the ball downfield and instead relies almost entirely on short passes. The numbers presented in the discussion tell a different story. Bo Nix finished among the league leaders in touchdown passes traveling at least 20 air yards, matching the production of other highly praised young quarterbacks in that category. That doesn't fit the narrative of a quarterback unwilling to attack defenses vertically. Late in the season, Denver did rely more heavily on quick throws and screen passes, but there was context behind those decisions. Injuries at running back forced adjustments, and Sean Payton adapted the offense accordingly. Those short completions became part of replacing the running game rather than evidence that Bo Nix lacked the ability to stretch the field. That distinction matters. Football is about adapting to circumstances. Great coaching staffs adjust based on injuries, available personnel, and weekly matchups. Judging an entire quarterback solely by one portion of the offensive approach ignores everything happening around him. The criticism didn't stop there. Another national opinion labeled Bo Nix the most overrated quarterback in the NFL. One argument pointed to the number of punts by Denver's offense as evidence supporting that claim. But even that reasoning creates an obvious contradiction. Many of the same discussions throughout the offseason suggested Denver lacked elite skill position talent compared to other teams. Wide receivers, running backs, and tight ends often failed to appear near the top of league rankings. If those opinions are accurate, then blaming Bo Nix alone for offensive limitations becomes difficult to justify. It cannot work both ways. Either the surrounding talent deserves more credit than national rankings suggest, or Bo Nix deserves more credit for helping the offense succeed despite those evaluations. One moment from last season continues to stand out. The Broncos scored 33 points against one of the league's strongest secondaries in Buffalo. That performance demonstrated what this offense could accomplish when everything came together. It also provided another reminder that Bo Nix is capable of performing well against elite competition. Immediately called for severe action before all available information became public. Others argued for patience. Their position is straightforward: allow the complete process to unfold before reaching conclusions. Allegations deserve to be handled seriously, but many believe final judgments should wait until every relevant fact becomes available. They also point out that if the organization believed immediate action was unquestionably necessary, those decisions likely would have happened much earlier. For now, the emphasis remains on allowing the situation to develop before drawing permanent conclusions. Another discussion that frustrated many Broncos supporters involved trade value. One comparison suggested quarterbacks like Patrick Mahomes and Josh Allen would command historic trade compensation. When the conversation shifted toward Bo Nix, however, his estimated value dropped dramatically, with suggestions that he was worth only around a first-round pick plus additional compensation because he supposedly functions only within Sean Payton's system. Many Broncos fans reject that idea completely. Their argument is simple. If a young quarterback wins games, continues improving, performs well against top competition, and remains under team control, his value should reflect far more than a minimal trade package. Quarterbacks are among the most valuable assets in professional football, particularly those still developing with significant upside. For Denver supporters, these repeated criticisms have become motivation rather than discouragement. Every prediction questioning the Broncos. Every ranking pushing them down the list. Every article doubting Bo Nix. Every conversation suggesting last season cannot be repeated. All of it becomes additional fuel for a locker room determined to prove people wrong. Whether every prediction ultimately proves correct or incorrect will only be answered on the field. That's where reputations are built. That's where preseason opinions disappear. And that's where the Broncos believe they have another opportunity to demonstrate that the national conversation has underestimated them once again. The upcoming season will provide answers to every question currently surrounding this football team. Can Sean Payton continue building on the progress already established? Can Bo Nix take another major step forward? Can this young core continue developing into one of the league's most competitive rosters? Those answers won't come from off-season rankings or television debates. They'll come every Sunday once the games begin. For Broncos country, that may be the most exciting part of all. Instead of worrying about the disrespect, many fans are choosing to embrace it. If this team performs the way they believe it can, every